What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. Now I'm finally getting to the cheetah wrap demo. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video if you enjoy the videos that I'm doing. Cheetah wrap is here, and we did do a video already on this. Lost it. The audio turned out terrible. My wireless mic wasn't working very well, so we're redoing this one. So this is going to be my personal opinion about how this film responds to some of the things that I'm going to put it through right now. I want to thank Andrew at performancewraps.com. Check him out. I think it's Performance Wraps LLC on Instagram, so don't forget to give him a follow. But thank you, Andrew, for sending me this film. Now, this film is only available in the US. I have not tried to purchase this myself here in Canada. I just asked someone if they would be able to sell me some from the US, and they did. But I did go on the website, and I noticed that there was an option for international shipping, but I didn't try to put an order through. Other people have told me that they've tried putting an order through, and it's not available as of yet to ship to Canada. That may have changed since I last checked. That was about a month ago. So again, if you wanted to get your hands on some of this stuff, it's only going to be available in the US, so you can have a friend grab it for you and then buy it off of them and have them ship it to you. Yes, it will be a little bit more expensive, but again, the price point of this film is actually less than anything else on the market right now. Now, right off the bat, that kind of tells me, hey, you know what, this is probably like DIY friendly. Like, you know, we're trying to get into like a do-it-yourself market where the film's easy to use, it's affordable, and there are colors that people love. Matte military green being one of them. I know there's like a black rose color as well, and a whole bunch of other ones. So we have gloss black. That's definitely a staple. I needed some of that to test it. I'm not wrapping a whole car in this stuff, so I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. Gloss and matte finishes will work differently from each other. So this is why I have the two. Now, could I have gotten matte black? Sure. Matte military green, very popular as well. Matte black has been done so many times, so why not just do something different? And again, this is what Andrew sent me. And again, thank you for sending me this film. I believe he sent me about 15 feet of each, so I should have enough to wrap a hood and like a fender and maybe a bumper. But we're gonna demo this in small pieces today, okay? We're gonna demo this as like, we're gonna test it with heat, see how that works with heat, see how it stretches on its own without heat, see if it leaves any glue lines, check the tack, and see what the finish looks like for the most part. That's about it. So that's what's gonna be in our test today. So let's get started here. I'm gonna cut off a sample of each. It's frigid outside. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind blowing in the background, but it's like negative 30. It's beautiful here in Canada. All right, so put that off to the side. Actually, let's just finish the car since it's all over it. Perfect. So easy to identify based off of the markings on the release liner, vacuum paper. It says cheetahwrap.com on the back of the paper. So you'll know that you have the right thing. For the most part, as far as I know, it hasn't been knocked off. But you never know. It's, anything can be knocked off in this world. So right here we have the matte military green. And then right here we have the gloss black. Now, the gloss black comes with a protective cap over top. This is a non-conformable, non-stretchy, to put it simply, material. You do not want to start laying panels down with the protective cap on it, especially panels that are curved. Can you get away with most of a hood if it's fairly flat? For sure, you can get away with some of that. Some of the doors, you'll probably get doors done. You probably get some quarter panels done, things like that. But again, it's not meant to be left on for the install. It can be if you have the ability to install with it on. So I'm going to cut off a piece of this, and I'm going to bring it in, and we're going to check out the adhesives on both of these. And I'm going to remove this cap. I wanted to do a video on this because this is a non-biased opinion where I'm not being paid for this. And a lot of you were asking, so I'm trying to get this cap off. I'll use my trusty Wrap Stick Flex. It's my favorite tool ever. All right. So that does not bend. This is not going anywhere. Even if you heat it, it doesn't do anything. Now let's check out the adhesive pattern. So immediately, it releases from the release liner very easily. It's not difficult to take off. And then we can check out the pattern itself. You guys can see it at all, right? So we can see that. We have a clear adhesive on this. There's no gray, there's no white. So that's what that looks like. We're gonna cut off some matte military green. Same deal. Check out that one. The air release pattern should be very similar. If not exactly the same. And again, we have clear adhesive. Super beneficial to have clear adhesive, because having clear adhesive makes your seams, and you have to do seams on a lot of cars, a lot less visible, usually. Okay? That means that if we had gray adhesive on the back, and we overlap two pieces, there's a possibility that we would see a gray edge in contrast to whatever color the film was. The clear adhesive, and it's one of the reasons why I like Vivid so much, is they use a lot of clear adhesives. And when you seam the films, they seam really nicely because it hides very well. You get into other brands, some Avery and 3M, they have like white. White is pretty terrible. Gray is pretty terrible. Black's not so bad, but again, clear is the best. So best color adhesive, and it's on this. It's on both colors. Adhesive colors do change, so don't hold me to it that all Cheetah Wrap films have clear adhesive. They do change depending on the colors that are used for the film. It's the way they keep the pigment or keep the color and keep the film from bleeding color through the actual from the paint. So you don't want to put yellow over a red car and all of a sudden the film turns orange. That's actually really common with Avery, where you would do that. If you put yellow over the red car, the film it changes color. That's not cool. So then your customer or you doesn't get what they're looking for. So we're gonna move these two pieces over, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stretch test these right now. So let's stretch test them and see how they stretch on their own. So it's got some good pliability. It does feel very soft, and it feels like it has no adhesive, but it does feel very pliable. Very beneficial to have a pliable film. We're gonna add a little bit of heat after this. The gloss doesn't feel any thicker than the matte, so that's also beneficial. Sometimes a gloss film can feel a little bit thicker than a matte film, or it will actually be a little bit thicker than a matte film. So again, pliable. In a sense, it's kind of like a half Avery conformability. Now, with the film being thin, there is positives, there's pros and cons to this. The pros, it's easier to work with. The cons, it doesn't offer any protection. So, as far as using like Avery goes, I mean, every installer, a lot of installers, I would say probably most, really enjoy using Avery because Avery is very user-friendly. But does Avery actually offer, what does it offer to the customer as far as protection goes? Okay, we've got UV, so it'll protect from UV, and it'll protect from like minor scratches and oxidization probably from the paint. That's about it. But when stones hit it, or salts in this really cold weather, it does chip up pretty bad and can leave a lot of areas on the front bumper or on the front end of the vehicle where there are specks of paint showing through. Definite downside when we're wrapping like a yellow over a red or a black over a white or anything that's opposite. And if your car color is not black to begin with, it's really just going to be noticeable. So we're going to those are the pros and cons basically to the films being thicker and thinner. If it's new films, they're a lot thicker, 5 mil. These I actually don't know, but I would say they're probably around 3 mil. So it's almost half the thickness. Now what we're going to do is we're going to heat and stretch. So I'm going to grab some more magnets. All right. So this is my own personal vehicle I'm testing this on, and we're going to give this some heat and stretch it out. Now again, it softens up nicely, but with this amount of heat on any other film, you're going to get about the same kind of feeling, basically. It kind of feels like a balloon. It's really interesting. It feels like, it just feels different. It's its own product. It feels like a balloon. Does it have memory? Yeah, it'll have memory on it. So that means that we can heat and shrink all of this back. So the rest of my gun here. So all of the wrinkles that are here, and I'll show you. Let's bring it in a little bit. Actually crumple it up. So all of these wrinkles should heat out. Pretty much any vinyl that you're going to get to wrap a car with is going to give you some kind of a memory, and you're going to be able to self-heal it or heal it up. Okay, smooth right out. And I'll bring that in again. So again, no more creases. Smooth right out. Finish looks good still. I would say that it's still 9.5 out of 10. Just not give it a 10 because is anything ever perfect? I don't think so. All right. And then we'll check out the gloss black, see how this responds as well. So I was driving, the hood of my car is warm already, but it's not hot. So again, pliable. I wouldn't say it's any more pliable than anything else on the market. It's pretty much the same. It's just more pliable in ambient air temperature. So in the proper room temperature. Right now we're sitting at 27.5 degrees Celsius, which is, I'll tell you in a second. I know how to change this thing. It's not working right now. I don't know. 27.5 degrees Celsius, it's pretty warm, okay? This is not cool. I would say that's about 85 degrees Fahrenheit, just ballpark. If we were outside at 27.5 degrees, it would be too warm pretty much to wrap. So this is also claimed to be a heat-activated adhesive. So with it being a heat-activated adhesive, this means that it should stick better when it's hot. So I'm going to get rid of these two pieces because they've been used. I'm going to clean the area down with isopropyl alcohol, so that we know that we have proper adhesion and there's no contaminants, grease, wax, whatever on the surface. Because we want to know if the vinyl sticks. The most important thing for me is the color, durability, and the adhesive. Now, over the years, I've developed my skills to not so much rely on adhesive and have trust in the actual product not fading. So I've learned to install different ways where I lay into areas as opposed to stretching into areas so much. Again, every brand's a little bit different. Could I use this if the adhesive wasn't very good? Yes, but that depends on certain areas because you do have to rely on it at a certain point. Sometimes you're going to have to stretch it, and you're going to have to stretch it into certain areas like the door handle cups. If you don't, you just can't not stretch it into a door handle cup. You have to do it. There's no other way. You can put an inlay in there, but that's just going to look ugly too. Why would you do that? You're going to have an ugly seam. So we won't be doing that. We're going to be stretching it. Again, there's going to be areas on a front bumper where an inlay isn't really necessary or isn't able to be done because there's no body line, and we would have to stretch in. Now, we would be relying on the adhesive to hold the film at that point because there's only so much we can do. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you what this is like on an 85-degree hood. I can just take it right now and drag it across the surface. That's cool. I like the ability to reposition, especially on a horizontal surface. But let's actually stick it down. I'll push nice and firm. And we're going to see how it sticks. Okay, let's lift the corner up and let's see how it comes up. I don't know about that. Okay, that's for 85 degrees, that's very questionable, okay? No matter how good or long-lasting the pigment is in the film, if the adhesive doesn't stick, then you're wasting your time wrapping your car. That's it. The fact that it's not sticky at all is a huge downside to this product, and it could be, in my opinion, a lot better. I don't know. I know people who've used it, they love it, and it's easy to install. It would be easy to install. You can see how you can just lift it up anytime you want. I mean, when you're laying into recesses, you're going to be stretching, and that's where my concern is. Again, how long is that going to hold for, especially when you're in a multi-climate environment, where if you live in the north somewhere, anywhere where you get fall, winter, and spring. If it's summer all year round and you live in Hawaii, like Dom, then great. If you live in Texas or Florida, great. You know, like those places you're gonna have hot temperatures all year round where it's going to actually promote adhesion. Let's actually take this now and heat it up. I'm gonna heat it up with a heat gun. Because I know that I'm sitting on a near 85-degree hood right now, 27.5 degrees Celsius. Again, we're going to check it. 26.3 degrees Celsius. $80 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, I was off by about 5 degrees. I just converted. That should be hot enough. Let's heat it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how hot I get this film. Because apparently you're supposed to post-heat it so that the adhesive sticks. Now, how well is that going to work? I don't know. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to post-heat about 5 inches of this, end to end. I'm going to let it cool, and then I'm going to go to remove it. And we're going to see what happens. Just going to see where we're at. We're at 144 Fahrenheit. I couldn't actually imagine doing this over the whole car. This would be nuts. You can see how long it's going to take me just for like a 5 by 7, 5 by 8 inch area. So to save like $100 or $200 on a roll, you're going to spend way more time than 171. You're going to spend way more time than it actually is worth. And you know, at 150 bucks an hour is what I charge for labor. 1 hour basically I might as well buy a roll of Avery. So at that point, and then I can also count on the fact that it sticks. I don't have to worry. So there's peace of mind that you can get with that. I don't know if they're going to revamp this adhesive or not. I have no idea. trying to hold the heat gun super close because I really, I don't care about damaging the color. I just want to know that this is going to stick. That's on 280. Let's move over to the other section over here. If 280 doesn't do it, nothing will. $264, okay? You can see that. So I've post-heated this back section here. We're gonna let that cool down. In the meantime, I'm gonna move over to a new piece, and then we're gonna see if we can actually make some glue lines happen. We'll try it with both. We'll try it with the black and the green. That will need to cool down. Let's move it over here. So typically glue lines would happen by squeezing the film down and then lifting it up. You can call them lift lines, you can call them glue lines, you can call them whatever you want. In the end, it's just glue, and it's the adhesive, and it's leaving a line. So it's not happening as we're doing this at all. There's no heat. I haven't added any heat. It's usually a little bit more common when we add heat, but again, we're sitting on an 80-degree surface right now. So if this was 3M in this situation, or even Avery, then we would get glue lines from lifting Avery and 3M. Vivid not so much, but again, another reason why I like to use Vivid for its finish, because it has a nice finish, it doesn't leave a lot of glue lines. The finish on this is spectacular. It's super smooth, looks great. Let's try it as well. I'll add a little bit of heat in a second, and then we'll see what happens when we lift it. See what this is doing over here. It's still hot. I'll check the temp. Still sitting at 130. I want that to cool down to about 80. So let's get this piece down over here. This is the gloss black. It still has the cap on it. Yes, it does squeegee with the cap on it. You can do it. It's not like it's impossible. I've done it a lot with like Vivid's Chrome. But again, it will stop you at a certain point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the cap. There's probably a special way to remove the cap. I'm just not doing it. I would say that I could take a piece of vinyl and stick it to it, but that's not going to work because the vinyl's not sticky enough for that. So I've got it. Now I'm going to just make sure all that's nice and down, and then we're going to lift it. We're going to see if we get any lift lines. Squeeze it down again. Some really minor ones, again, nothing to really even worry about. And again, actually, if I push down on it with my finger, it'll go away. Very interesting, very cool. Something a little bit different. Now, I've scratched up the surface of the film with my squeegee. So how well does the self-healing property work on the film? I know that I just removed the cap and there's no dust on the surface. All I have is a monkey strip. I don't have any soapy solution. But can I heat out these scratches? Wonderful. So again, it works like Avery, 3M, Vivid, anything else. The very fine scratches that you get in the surface of your gloss finishes can be heated out. Keep that in mind. It doesn't take a lot. You don't have to like sit there and post heat it like I did with this section on the hood for the green to make this stick. Different kind of post heat. We need to just run heat over it, or if you do live in a warm environment, or it is summertime, throw the car out in the sun, pretty much all of the buffer lines will go away. So the only ones that do stay is when there's a contaminant on the surface of the actual film, and that gets scratched or pushed into the top of the film, and that leaves a more permanent scratch. The buffer itself doesn't really leave scratches. They're like imaginary scratches. They go away with heat. This, on the other hand, doesn't get anything in it. This is actually super, super nice. It gets some really faint lines from what I can see, but again, these are all heated again. You see how they go completely gone. So the lines that I did get down here from the squeegee go away. On a matte film, you get like kind of like darker or shinier lines, to put it simply. So you could see those if you were to do like a whole hood and you were squeegeeing it. Keep in mind, sometimes the edge of your buffer leaves a little bit of glue on the edge, or you hit it with the corner and then you leave that kind of a line where it's like, it's just adhesive, and you can clean it off with adhesive remover. Not a big deal to worry about. You do want to try to avoid doing that, but again, it happens to the best of us. So nothing to worry about, but the actual squeegee marks themselves, they do come out with some heat. So let's see how this is doing up here. It still feels warm. 60, I was at 90. It's about 10 degrees warmer than I like it, but hey, why not? Let's just try and remove it. And you find an edge. All right, let's give it a little bit of a pull here, okay? Oh, look at that. It's actually on there. It's on there really good. I gotta say, it's on there really good. If I let that cool down to like 40, 50 degrees, would that make any difference in that? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Again, I'm not gonna take the car outside right now because it's negative 30, but it does stick, okay? So it does stick after you post heat it. Now again, you saw how long that took to post heat that area. Do you want to post heat your entire car? Probably not. So that's totally up to you though, okay? The amount of time you want to spend on the install and the amount of time you want to spend on the post heat, totally up to you. Is it going to be a little bit faster for your install, then let's say maybe 3M or Vivid or Hexus or Oracle or pretty much any other brand other than Avery? Yeah, it might be faster. How much faster? I could say that the time difference between, and so Vivid is not the easiest film to use, but it's not the most difficult film to use. Compared to Avery, and if I was to wrap the same car in satin black of one of each brand, of Vivid and of Avery, I would probably spend an extra hour or two total using Vivid over Avery. That's just because the film is a little bit thicker. Now, if I had to post heat the whole car, I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna be, how much time that's gonna take. I've never had to do that before in my life. Post heat edges, yes. We post heat some recesses, yes. It will be absolutely necessary to post heat your door handle cups or anywhere that you might stretch the film, but that's, again, up to your ability to do that and do it thoroughly. You do not want to miss even a half an inch or a quarter of an inch of an area that you're supposed to post heat. If you miss that area, you're going to get lifting. And so being thorough is very important. As I mentioned all the time, being thorough is very, very important. Now it's going to be important with this. Now the film is sticking a little bit more in that spot because it's hot still, but it's cooled down. And I just kind of want to see what it's like putting it down again. Doesn't seem to be any different. So again, maybe I didn't let it cool down enough. It was still 90 degrees when I removed it. Would it come off more difficult? I don't know. It seemed to work, just personally. that's pretty much what I have for this kind of demonstration right here, guys. We're gonna move into doing a hood wrap, and I'm gonna show you what that's like and how, I guess, quickly it goes, or what I have to do in order to get a hood wrap done, because a lot of you will be doing like your roofs and in gloss black. I'm gonna do the hood in the green just because it'll show differently, and that'll give you something to look at. Again, if you thought the video was informative and there's anything I might have missed as far as this pre-test goes before I actually wrap a panel, let me know, drop it in the comments below. Again, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see the next video, guys. I do appreciate you watching. Thank you. Take care.